I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is Project Architect 2. Now that we've gotten Applied Energistics all set up, today starts a new era in this mod pack. One that is going to be working slowly but surely into the adventure-bound section of our EMC mastery. And this is kind of important because all of these individual tasks are going to require a lot of infrastructure, but thankfully a lot of this stuff we only have to do once. We only have to craft these once because they do have EMC associated with them. And once we get started with this and we get all of this done, it starts our first EMC loop, which is not too bad. We just need to make the Archimeat, which is pretty nice. The fact that we can get this, and it's going to be a passive gain, I believe, because this has, I think, like 20 million. So it's like a passive gain of at least 30 million EMC each time you loop craft this recipe right here. Now, obtaining all of this stuff is fairly simple, but I will say it does take a little bit of time and effort that you have to put into each of these mods in order to get started with this. Good thing is, while we're working on this, we will be able to let our current EMC farms just run, which is very nice. And speaking of EMC farms, I have dramatically upgraded this farm right here. So what I have done is, if I pop into here real quick, I have upgraded this with upgrades. So we now have more looting, so we're getting more loot and sharpness, which kills these mobs much faster. And this is definitely necessary, and it is dramatically speeding up how fast, so much so that I had to add some extra piping here to allow this barrel to send into our condenser much faster. And then on top of that, I also added another way to make sure this can pull out of here even faster. And I upgraded it to a MK2 version of the energy condenser. Notice there's a split here, and I switched it to generating red matter. And already, just in a matter of just a little bit of time, it's not been that long at all, under an hour, it's generated about 11 million EMC in just red matter here. So that is fantastic, and we're going to need as much of this as possible, all of this EMC, because today I'm going to be crafting one of the most overpowered swords in the mod pack. Now hear me out, I called it overpowered, but in reality it's only going to help us ever so slightly get through the tedious things that are involved, for example, in vanilla Minecraft. For example, killing the Ender Dragon, and well, it will kind of help us do that. It will help us get over the first Ender Dragon that we're going to need to kill, and also the Wither and things like that. But it's not going to really help us with other things that we're going to need. For example, we're going to need dragon's legs, and to be able to get those, you actually have to use a knife from Farmer's Delight to take this guy out. We're also going to need to craft a magic bane and several other things, and all of these things are going to kind of be helped along the way with this very powerful sword that I'm about to mention. Okay, I'll spill the beans. The powerful sword that I'm going to be making is none other than the Qatar. Yes. So the Qatar is a very powerful weapon because it has an AoE that can essentially deal 1,000 damage to any mob that is within its AoE or within its range. Now I did the math. This is going to cost us roughly 10 or so million EMC. It's going to be quite a bit. So I am going to need quite a bit of red matter here. I can pull out quite a bit. We do have like 70 something million. So I need a little bit of this. I do need some dark matter, and we also need some diamonds mostly to be able to craft this. And it is 100% worth. This is going to be one of the best items, in my opinion, to get crafted as soon as possible. This is going to help you take on the dragon. It's going to help you get to the dragon quicker. It's going to just help you progress through the monotony of basic Minecraft a lot faster. And here we go, the Qatar. Now, a couple of things we need to keep in mind when we start playing with ProjectE tools is how to charge, which is typically set to V, and then also the extra functions, which I have set to X. Extra function is what's going to allow us to do that AoE. So we put this in our inventory. I can actually go ahead and hit V, and that is going to do our first charge. And this does really not that much. It just charges up the tool, allowing it to be more useful. It basically increases its AoE. To decharge, we can hold down Shift and V. That allows us to change that. That noise is very loud, by the way. Now, X is what should allow us to do this, but notice there's some other keybind conflicts. So there we go. After fixing that conflict, I should now be able to use that extra ability. We just now have to find some mobs to use it on. And by the way, it's going to be by default in hostile mode, and I kind of want to keep it there. I don't want to be accidentally killing passive mobs with an AoE effect. It does kind of hurt. It feels bad to definitely do that. So I guess the best place to test is actually our mob farm right here. So just by standing here with some active hostile mobs, if I hit X, it actually slays those mobs that are inside here. And this is going to be very helpful very soon because you can use this ability on things like the dragon and the wither. Now, another amazing thing about this tool is I no longer need to have a hoe or shears or an axe or a sword on me because this is an all-in-one tool for these things. I'll say just don't get super click happy with your tool when you're stripping logs. I don't recommend using this for doing that as it can strip a huge area, but if you click a script log with this, it will consume like all of the logs within like a 64 by 64 radius. It's a huge area. And the next thing you know, all of the trees in your base are gone. So now with that out of the way, let's take a look at probably one of the easiest plushies to actually work towards, or at least I think it is. And that is going to be the bee one. So to be able to make the bee, if we take a look here, the bee is going to require royal jelly. It's going to require some compressed honey blocks and windy air, along with a stinger spear and a crystal cannon, and also a crystalline flower. All of these things are found within the Bumblezone, which we're going to be diving into here in a minute. Now, to get to the Bumblezone, I recommend doing a couple of things before you do this. I recommend having some flight. It's going to definitely help you. I also recommend making an explorer's compass. Now, it's not necessarily recommended to use the explorer's compass, but you can bypass a lot if you do. If not, definitely make a honey compass. The honey compass is actually how you're planning or how you're supposed to go through the Bumblezone, and was my intended way of doing it, but I did end up adding the explorer's compass. Now, if you hit L, you're also going to see this right here. So this is part of the Bumblezone mod, and it actually walks you through. So if you don't want to watch this and you want to just walk through on your own, hitting L will open up your advancements for a lot of mods, and a lot of mods have their own built-in guides you can see right here that take you step by step. That's why in my quest book, I don't have a lot of guides that lead you independently through mods because it's already technically built into a ton of mods. Now to fully get started, you can either just jump right into this dimension to get yourself some honey and honeycombs. There's a way of getting these from the dimension itself, but I've actually gotten mine from the overworld, which is very nice. So I recommend making some honey bottles and making some honey cookies with some wheat. So wheat is going to be very useful, and these honey cookies are going to be insanely powerful. And I'm going to show you why here in just a second. You're also, by the way, going to want to bring some buckets and a way to potentially teleport back home. So let's go ahead and place our beehive right here. It fits actually just perfectly. And you can either use a piston to push yourself into the beehive, or you can use an ender pearl to teleport in to the Bumblezone. And it'll take just a moment in order to get in here, but once you're in here, things are really going to start to take off. We have some fluid down here, which is sugar water, and it works just like water. You can make an infinite source of it. And then we have a ton of this pollen. All of this has EMC for the most part, and these are just regular combs, by the way. Now, fair warning, if you go and start playing around with these blocks and start breaking things, you're going to find out real quick, these bees don't play around. You will end up getting absolutely wrecked. For example, if you mess with a brood block or blocks around it, this will end up making bees mad, and you'll get a effect on you. If I break this brood block, notice lack of protection of the hive effect. And now I have 1 minute of the wrath of the hive, and here they come. All right, they're already after me, trying to poison me, but with these cookies, you can completely get rid of that and make bees like you. So definitely use these cookies to feed the brood blocks. Yes, the brood blocks for sure. This will also grow bees. You can see right here, so you can get plenty of bees in this dimension. But honey cookies are definitely worth it because you'll end up getting this protection of the hive buff, and that's going to be very important here in a minute. Also, look, it's a honey slime. Look at the cute little guy. Yeah, and again, this is where this sword just really helps out because we're able to take these guys out and they drop sugar. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to run down and I'm going to grab a couple of buckets of the sugar water so I have extra sugar water for later if I need to use it for anything. Now, a lot of the stuff in this dimension is decoration based, so I would love to see some cool builds from you guys over on the Discord. If you built anything related to bees, I would love to see it. There's so many cool things that you can do from this dimension, and there's so many cool like building blocks and stuff as well that you can unlock. Now, one of the first things I need to craft is a honey compass. So this requires the shards, it looks like honey crystal shards, and it tells you everything about how to get them. We should be able to find them in like special locations here. And we also need a full bucket of honey. And we also need some pollen puffs, and those are pretty easy to get. We just break some of this pollen. And those crystals look like, yeah, these right here. So we should be able to break these. Perfect. And now we got ourselves a honey crystal shard. Now with just those few things, we should be able to head back home, and I should be able to quickly craft a few things. We're going to need the bottles of honey. I believe it was 4 of them, right? And we need to craft that with a bucket, and that should get us a bucket of honey. Perfect. And I think we have everything else. Just need a compass. And now we have ourselves a honey compass. So this is pretty important. Now that we have this, we should be able to go back into the Bumblezone and hopefully locate something new. Now, I know I haven't mentioned this yet, but I also recommend just grabbing a regular bucket of water, because this is going to be pretty helpful here in the future in the Bumblezone. So now that we're back in here, this compass now should be, once right-clicked, should be leading us to a new location that is called a cell maze. And this is where I said flight is pretty important, but you can actually wander around here and find a bee. There is a bee that will give you some sort of flight, so long as you have like a honeycomb on a stick, I do believe, and you saddle that bad boy, you can actually fly a bee around the Bumblezone. And keep an eye out, by the way, there's a lot of cool blocks. For example, like this glistening honey crystal. Like, there's a lot of cool things. I think silk touching also is it's a much better option. I don't think I have any silk touching blocks just yet. Or sorry, silk touching tools, not blocks. Yeah, just wandering around here alone might take a while. It is huge. Like, once you start really noticing the scale of the Bumblezone, it's just kind of breathtaking whenever you're looking around and you see all of these combs with all of these massive ravines. I mean, we're literally miniaturized and flying through the inside of a beehive. Also, a nice little method of getting EMC early. If you jump into this dimension early, you can break these honeycomb blocks. And I mean, they are quite a bit of EMC, 64 each. And if you vein mine, I mean, you can gather quite a lot. What is this? Ooh, this might be a good idea. There's honey cocoons. What happens if we open them? Ooh, luminescent wax channels, ender pearls, a bumblebee chest piece. Yes, please. By the way, all of this is cosmetic, so I should be able to wear this. Oh, it's got such cute cosmetic armor. And definitely want this cosmetic armor, because there's a lot of cosmetics that can be traded with the queen bee later on for those windy shards that we're actually going to need. Oh, there's some cool particle effect. Oh, it blew me through the... Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. That's super sick. And yeah, I don't know what these wax channels are for, but these look like just another nice little building block. No way there's echo shards in rabbit's foot here. There's echo shards? Just chilling in these. Like, there's actually all kinds of good stuff. Now, there's got to be some deep lore around these ancient wax structures. Like, I wonder what that lore is. Like, I don't know if they have like a lore page or anything. Man, I would love to read that. Maybe you guys can do some research, digging down in the comments below, and let me know if you discover any interesting research or lore that is around this dimension, because I would love to know. Yeah, is this like maybe the past remnants of the overworld dimension had been here at one time? Because I mean, there's the C418 number 11 disc. Like, maybe? And I noticed there's like fallen discs of this material also laying like all about, like there used to be floating platforms. Like that one right there. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot around it. I really feel like there's got to be a story. There's like water channels as if like a civilization did live here at some point. Okay. Like maybe this right here. Holy living gardens. This, I believe, yes, this is the structure right here that provides us with the crystalline flower. I love how we take damage walking on it. But believe it or not, this is like an XP storage and enchanting flower that allows us to, yeah, holy smokes, store XP and enchant with it? Is that what this is? But I do want to take this flower because this is part of the bee that we actually need to craft. But you can find more than one of these. Notice there are a couple of them per structure here. There's like every flower known to man here. Oh goodness, and a bunch of lizards. Look at them all. And there's even sponges here. So if you didn't happen to get them through the thermal method that I showed, then here you go. There's also more of the honey crystals here, which I'm definitely going to need. Either I can craft them from this, or we're going to actually need to get ourselves some silk touch, I think, to harvest those. Yeah, we are going to need a silk touched version of it. This is so pretty though. Look, there's a butterfly in here. How did a butterfly even get into the Bumblezone in the first place? And this is so trippy. This is a flashing archwood log with a flowering leaves from Ars Elemental? Wait, Ars Elemental and Region Unexplored leaf tops. Are all of these just like different? That's so interesting. Yeah, it is 100% mixed the wood types. Like this is vanilla with regions unexplored. Regions unexplored, more vanilla. This one I think is, yeah, ecology with quark. Ah, I love this. Okay, so this is nice and all, but we still need to find the cell maze because the cell maze is going to contain our other compass that we are going to need. So we definitely have to keep following this compass until we get there. Oh man, it is going to be so worth. And now I do recommend doing it this way because you are going to have to find the cell maze anyways, because of one of the items, the spear, is actually going to be required to be gathered through the cell maze. Oh wow, there's like a little cove in here. Look at that. Oh look, it's got some honey web in here. Very interesting. I'm finding all kinds of structures I've never seen before in this dimension. Is this a archer mini game? Oh my gosh, it is an archer mini game. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, this is bee soup. We have stingers. I might take that. What does that say? Dangerously tantalizing. Bee stinger juice. Very delicious. But these right here, wait. These are the cannons. Wait, don't we need the crystal cannon, right? Yeah, we do. There we go. So now we have a crystal cannon. It is repairing itself. That is perfect. And does this shoot honey crystals? Oh. Oh, wait. Will it like shoot all of these? Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Oh, we did shoot it. Wait a minute. Yet again, another structure I've never seen before in this dimension. What in the world is this? Okay, it's got like a transmat system. This looks like a, oh, I'm getting pushed around. Like, I'm not moving. This is moving me, by the way. Oh, it's like a little diner. And there's stinger. Okay. Honestly, this is pretty neat. I've never seen this structure before. There's end-related stuff down here. Wait a minute. Okay, take me down. Oh, by the way, honeyweb. So honeyweb's kind of interesting. To get rid of it, you have to click it with a water bucket. And believe it or not, that actually gets rid of it. But I'm going to take these inrods. I think we got inrods though already, but we didn't get these. And wait a minute. What is in here? Excuse me. By the way, remember the Qatar can insta-kill these things. We just got item frames with crystals in them. Okay, I will take. Wait a minute. No way this has... What is mystery structure? What's a mystery structure? Apparently it's leading us to something, so maybe we should take a peek at where that takes us. There's another one. These look to be leading to the same spot. Oh my gosh, here's another end one. We just got to clear this out. I'll take that. It's just free EMC right here. Great. Now I want to see what this mystery structure is. It seems like it's slightly off from the one that's actually leading us to the cell maze, which by the way, I've been traveling for quite a while. This can be very far out. This is why I 100% recommend having some sort of creative flight. It is going to be very difficult otherwise. I mean, I guess you could glide through this. Oh, is this a cell maze? I think this is it right here. Oh, this is the cell maze. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely leading us somewhere else, but it's definitely a mystery. We'll visit this after doing this cell maze. Now, the cell maze is pretty important and is going to require some inventory space, and is also going to require you to have cookies around, or I guess you could go through here and just Qatar all the bees. It's probably not the best idea. And we're also going to need water bucket because this is how we're going to do this. Okay, so it says you lack the protection of the hive. So we have to get the protection of the hive by doing that. And now it says lost in the cells, and now we should be able to roam. This is why having those cookies is so good. There we go. So let's clear out an area, and we have to keep up with this effect. So the effect in the top left-hand corner, I've got to keep an eye on this and refresh it with these cookies as we loot these right here. So these are pretty important to be looting. I feel like any of the Bumblezone related goods are going to be worth grabbing. Even if I don't use them right away, we're going to be able to trade them with the bees. So, for example, if we find any here, or I think there's armor stands. Ooh, some of these have really good effects on them. This is pretty nice. Let's see. Oh, I think these bee bread, by the way, you can actually feed those instead of honey cookies. Oh, wait. What's this? This is the throne pillar. This is actually what we're looking for. This is the queen. Oh my goodness. We just found the honey compass that quickly. But there's still more we need to do, right? There's still more. We need to keep looking because there should be armor stands laying about. I'm going to refresh my effect. There we go. Continue my journey looking for some helpful armor stands. Aha. And I think this is one of those rooms. Yes, this right here. And this is the one that can grant you flight. This is the bee moth. Oh, I don't actually have a way of picking this guy up right now. Oh, but I really should. I want one of these as a pet. Yes, the behemoth. Behemoth. It's too good. All the bee puns. It's too nice. But this is what we actually need. This full armor set right here. And there we go. The bee warrior rises. Let's actually equip the gear. And there are actually different sets, by the way, that look different. For example, this one looks like this. It's pretty good, but we ended up getting that stinger spear that we need. And yes, you can find stingers in these containers. So yeah, still look through these containers because I want as many armor pieces as I can to be able to, like I said, trade, and we can get ourselves some windy air. And I guess we actually don't need silk touch because we get honey crystals here. So perfect. So that saves me needing to go after honey crystals and getting ourselves silk touch and all of that jazz. So now I guess with that, we should be able to make our way out of here. Yes. And now we need to take that bee compass, the throne pillar, and we need to start hunting for the throne. And man, some of these structures are absolutely breathtaking. There was definitely an advanced ancient alien civilization that was here. I mean, there's no other explanation about this. Like I don't, it had to have been aliens. Yeah, 100% it was aliens. Can confirmed. Chosen 2024. Also, there's just so many fun, like look at this, there's like a bee music disc setting here with some more armor. Oh man, for all of your friends to do some dancing. Oh, I love that. There's also a flower garden biome. I've never seen this before. I've been in the Bumblezone so many times, but I just didn't know there was actually this much to the mod. That is a lot of stuff. Like, I kind of want to mark this spot right here and like build something pretty. There's pathing and everything. Like, this would be a beautiful base location. Oh, and these are kind of cool. This is a flower headwear. Can we replace it and put it on us? Oh my god, the cosmetics have gone too far. This is too adorable. Ooh, I think this is it. This bad boy right here. Look at that. There's a giant column. Oh, I think this is it. Yes, this 100% is it. And there is the queen. I think, though, I definitely want to make things happy and walk in here. Bzz. We need golden apple acacia leaves for the next 20 minutes. By the way, what the queen does is asks for certain things, and it will prompt you right there of the thing that is needed. And you can do trades, and eventually you'll get yourself some royal jelly. But hear me out. There's actually a trick to this. Now, we can do normal trades. For example, I can throw the spear at her, or I guess I should be like more direct at her, and she should trade so long as our magnet's off. There we go. And you can see right there, after doing a trade, we get ourselves some windy air. This is how we trade with the queen. And there's a lot of like really fascinating trades that the bee can do. For example, it can like do color conversions of stuff. But spoilers. Now, spoilers here. If you don't want to know what I'm about to tell you, please just skip a little bit ahead. Okay? Because what I'm about to show you is kind of a spoiler, but it is kind of mentioned in the quests as well. And that is how to get royal jelly. So for one, you can do the trades. That's one way. But there's actually another method. But it involves following the royal jelly. Okay? Hear me out. Royal jelly actually exists up here. But you kind of have to go through the royal jelly, which does take quite a while, and you could potentially suffocate. So before we do this, let's actually head out over here. And because we can't, I believe, place blocks or anything just yet, let's get ourselves a waystone. And we'll call this the queen. And so the queen, we now have a way to get over here. So let's go ahead and let's track where this royal jelly is coming from, because it's kind of important, right? And we notice this here, and if we swim, we can crawl through here. Or a better solution is to actually make ourselves pretty small using the personal shrinking device. So let's actually get in small mode. There we go. And this will make it incredibly easy to navigate this. So if we continue through and we keep pathing this, eventually we'll make it to this block right here. And this, believe it or not, is a source block of royal jelly. So we should be able to bucket this up, I believe. Somehow. I think we can. That is if I don't drown, which I'm definitely doing. But there is definitely a source block down there. I just got to get to it, I think. Now, keep in mind, we do have mining fatigue. I'm trying to pick it up. I can't, for some reason, seem to grab that source block. Oh, I got to keep going higher. Oh, it's all the way up here. Oh, there's more. Oh, it's up here. It's all the way at the very, very, very top. And there we go. So now I have myself a bucket of royal jelly, and I can use this to turn it into 4 royal jelly. It is 100% a faster way of getting it. But yeah, now that you know, you'll never be able to unsee that. Oh, when I went down here, it says, Buzz, the queen bee is interested in the item you're holding. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. You see nothing. You didn't see anything at all. And now with that, we have essentially done the Bumblezone. Of course, coming back and trading with her is something that you can definitely do. You can also pick her up, but I don't recommend doing that, especially on servers, because it is going to make it way harder for other players if you do pick up this beautiful queen from her platform. So now that we're back at the lab, we can start to analyze all these pieces and hopefully put together the bee and then do some more testing on this said bee. I think it's going to be a pretty good idea to do all of that. First though, let's go ahead and get our royal jelly. That is a major milestone, and most of this stuff should be done. I think our crystal cannon, we might actually have to craft one in order for the quest to like it, because this one probably has some special data on it, since we did find it on an armor stand or in an item frame. Yeah. Now to actually make this cannon, we're going to need a little bit of an interesting mechanic. We can actually make some special material with a very special cobblestone generator. So we take the sugar water it makes sugar infused cobblestone whenever we break this. And then we can take some of this and we should be able to smelt it up. I believe we're going to need about 5 of them. That looks like it turns directly into cobble. How do we actually get the smooth version? Here I am stumbling. How do we get sugar infused stone? We have to make a vanilla stone generator, and I'm assuming silk touch it. That is definitely doable, but it is going to require a little bit more to get the actual stone generator up and running. So I did a little bit of testing, and it turns out that this sugar water doesn't work the way I actually thought it was going to work. So it says it needs to be next to still water, which the best way to do that would be directly through the top here, and to have this blocked off, and then to drop lava directly on top. Okay, and that will consume the water source, and that actually generates the infused stone. So we're gonna need a couple more buckets of that water. Thankfully, we can create an infinite source of it. So there we go. Now we should be able to pick this up. Now I don't know if it has to be silk touched. And it doesn't. It actually doesn't need silk touch, so I didn't technically need it. You just have to essentially place the water, the sugar water, place that on top, and now you end up getting the stone. We need about 5 of these. So here we go. So there's our bee cannon, and then we just need to upgrade this to a crystal cannon. And there we go. Now we have completed that. And so now with that complete, we can go ahead and claim our quest reward, be something good. And I have no idea what I got. It could be honestly anything. We got a diamond. Of course, my luck. There is some amazing things you can actually get from the quest rewards, by the way. So let's go ahead and get our bee, and we now should be able to craft ourselves the bee. We just need compressed honey blocks. To be fair, these are actually fairly easy to make. We can just set up an auto craft. So with our craft, we want honey to be created, so that creates a singular honey block, and then we just need to compress those honey blocks all the way up into tier 3, right? So this is tier 1, then tier 2, and I think it was a 3 times compressed honey block that was needed, and we just add that to our molecular assemblers, and then we need to grab our EMC and fill this thing with some honey. Let's actually see how many we're going to need to make this. So just one of those requires 2,916 honey bottles. Or you could, of course, go around and vein mine all of the honey blocks in the dimension, which is another way to do it. To be fair, this is only like 2 inventories worth of honey bottles, and that wasn't too bad at all. So let's go ahead and get that crafted. It says missing ingredients, the honey bottles, 420. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Just a few more. That should be more than enough right now. And now we can craft. Perfect. And because of all of our crafters that we got set up, this should be a rather simple task. Given the fact that, well, this is going to be a pretty slow task because we do not have accelerations inside of our molecular assemblers yet. But you know what? I might actually go ahead and throw some speed upgrades in this, and that should definitely accelerate this right now. And look at them go. And that is flying through way faster. Holy smokes. And it's leaving us with all these empty bottles that we'll be able to pull out and put back into our EMC. And voila, we have ourselves a 3 times compressed honey block. And I think we're ready to craft the bee. I do. Here we go. So we should now have everything. And now that we've done all of the research for all of these items, we can make ourselves a bee, and it does have an EMC value. So let's go ahead and do some research on it. A little bit of poking and prodding, and we have now learned the bee. Oh boy. And that, my friends, has moved us one step closer to some EMC automation. So that is our first actual bee, or first actual plushie automated, and there we go. So the bee is ready to rock and roll, and we now have access to it in here. And technically, every time I craft this, if I wanted to continue crafting it, it would produce an EMC value of 2 million based on those items. So keep in mind, some of these things can be crafted a little bit easier than others. For example, this one is pretty simple to craft and can generate quite a bit of EMC, being the Warden. But with that, I'm going to have to call it an episode. I hope you guys did enjoy and or learn something new, whether it was about the Bumblezone, or is it about applied logistics and automation, or about the amazing tool that we ended up making that can just completely devastate all kinds of mobs. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to consider doing that and ringing that notification bell and potentially sharing this video with your friends. Maybe you were like completely blown away by the Bumblezone mod itself. It is a fantastic mod and would be amazing if you shared that with more people. Guys, I thank you so very much. And of course, give this video a huge thumbs up. And with that being said, it's now time for me in my Bumble suit to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to technically Goose backwards. Thank you so much, Goose, for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and gaining access to supporter servers. Thank you so very much for that. And by the way, we do have a supporter server up for this Project Architect 2 if you want to check that out if you are a supporter of the particular tier. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Bye.